She is, well, a quintessential leader speaker, an acronym queen, right? She loves arts, seafood, and real conversations with real people. She's not into robots. I don't know about that. She enjoys unraveling mysteries and has a knack for naming things on the go. She's the immediate past president of Pecten Club, and she is on the dynamic leadership pathway as far as leadership, or rather as far as Toastmasters journey is concerned. She's at level 5. Her favorite quote is, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication," and that's a quote by Leonardo da Vinci. To kick us off today in this fantastic, fairy, fabulous open house and contest is none other than a good friend of mine who is ready to rumble. Please make welcome to your virtual lectern, the delectable Toastmaster, Folusho Alamina.
Thank you very much. Have you ever met someone who reminded you of a vending machine? A vending machine will typically spew out lovely items, a bar of chocolate, maybe wafer, or a bottle of drinks. I've met quite a few of such people. Do you desire to be like them, or maybe more? Then come with me. Let's go back to the basics. The very beginning is always a good place to start. Let's go back to words. Words, the unit of sentences, the unit of stories, and the unit of speeches. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, words are free, but it's how you use them that may cost you. When we speak, it should never be about the word count, but it should be about making our words count. To show up and to speak up, we have to word up. So tell me, what are words to you? Do you see words as toys, or do you see them as ingredients? A while back, I had a spontaneous conversation with my son, and I posed a similar question to him. Guess what he said? He took a good look at me and then went, "Mom, words are not toys to me. They're more than toys. Words are more like Lego pieces to me because I can build almost anything with them." Quite frankly, he's a big fan of Lego. He's really big on it. You should see the amazing towers, the amazing spaceships, and even robots he makes with Legos. Oh, by the way, he's got his cute little Lego pieces by his bedside, permanently stationed by his bedside. Don't ask me what they do there all night, but that's what he does. That's how into Lego he is. So he tells me words are like Lego pieces to him. What are words to you? Toys or ingredients? If I ask the chef, they'll probably, or a foodie, they'll probably tell me words are ingredients. Oh, I could make a mean pasta with all kinds of ingredients. I guess so. And then if I ask the biologist, what would they tell me? Words are like cells. And then a craftsman, he would probably say, words are like nuts and bolts, tools, my hammer, my wrench, my screwdriver, and so on. Tell you what, as Toastmasters, we are craftsmen of sorts. We are wordsmiths, and so we have our own toolboxes in our workshop, or shall I say, word shop. What's in your Toastmaster toolbox? Let's get deep. My Toastmaster toolbox is filled with all sorts. I bet you guessed, literary devices. Absolutely. I know yours would have lovely devices as well. A lot of us here are quite familiar with Chinua Achebe, and he said something. He said, "Proverbs are the palm oil with which words are eaten." But something tells me that a lot of you on this call do not like palm oil. So I would say literary devices are like the gravy or the sauce with which words are eaten. So if you said, or if you thought about it, that words are like toys, words are ingredients, words are cells, words are tools in my toolbox, you are absolutely correct. On our Toastmasters journey, we have ample opportunities to work our speaking muscles, to do a lot of verbal aerobics, working each muscle one project at a time. For every speech we show up for, I like to start with why. It's always a good place to start. Why are you speaking? Are you speaking to inspire, to inform, or to impact? Or let's see, are you speaking to educate, to empower, or to entertain? Or maybe an admixture of everything. Whichever be the case, you have to be clear about your why. Think about it. What's a football game without goals? What is archery without a target? What's a speech without communication goals? Every speech is not about you, dear speaker. It's about your audience. What do you want them to know? How do you want them to feel? And what do you want them to do? To word up, we have to be intentional. Intentionality is the name of the game. We have to be intentional about filling up our word tanks. Remember what I said at the beginning? We have to word up. Recall the vending machine I spoke to you about earlier. It's always nice to pass by, hit the button, and grab your pack of chocolates and just nibble away like a rabbit. But guess what? Someone had to go ensure that it was always well stocked. The vending machine had to be always well stocked. Otherwise, you don't have the convenience of going there to hit the button and get what you want. So how, as speakers, do we ensure that our word tanks are filled up so that when we turn the tap, a lot of good stuff would flow out? We have to read. We have to read voraciously. We have to read with reckless abandon. We have to read all sorts of genre, fiction, non-fiction, history, biography, poetry, read articles, read books, read magazines. Just read. Just read. Reading would expand your knowledge, broaden your horizon, and it would expand your repertoire of words. Remember what we're doing this evening? We are wording up. A few years ago, actually, several years ago, several decades ago, if I might add, I sat in my English class, and my English teacher, oh, the Lord bless her soul, Mrs. Joe, such an amazing woman with an amazing command of the English language. She stepped into the class and she said, "Girls, I would like to see your vocabulary notebook." And we all sort of turned around, looked at each other with puzzled looks on our faces like, what is that? Vocabulary notebook? Is it even a thing? I'd never heard that all my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always been that kid who loved to read, so had been reading from God knows when. But I had never had anything like a vocabulary notebook until that day. Now, Mrs. Joe insisted, "Girls, I need to see your vocabulary notebook every lecture you come for." So we knew she was serious. We could not dodge this one. Now, she wanted us to start a habit that, as far as I'm concerned, would be an amazing lifelong habit. She said to us, if you adopt this habit, you will go far with the English language. And what was this book for? The book was there for us to document new words, new expressions. So as we go about whatever we do, whether we're reading, interacting, watching a movie, and so on, she said, write out the new words, listen intently for new expressions, and put them down. And that was the beginning of my journey into the world of word artistry. Amazing woman, Mrs. Joe. So that habit stuck with me like a stamp to a letter, and I must confess it has been with me till today. Here is my cute little vocabulary notebook, just like my son who has his nice little Lego station by his bedside. I have my vocabulary notebook close by always. So how about for your next speech? we try something a bit different. I know you are all great speakers, but how about serving your next speech a bit differently? How about serving it with ardor in such a way that it is sizzling hot? You can see the steam literally emanating from it. How about making it finger licking good? And how can you do that? Remember, we talked about wording up, reading. Remember, we talked about literary devices. Right. So as you put together an amazing content, you need to serve it the right way. Serve it by tossing in a dash of metaphor, tossing a squeeze of oxymoron. How about a sprinkle of personification? How about a shake of onomatopoeia? How about a drizzle of alliteration? Ladies and gentlemen, there are way too many talkers, way too few speakers, not enough speakers. There are way too many hearers, not enough listeners. As we speak for impact, let us listen with intent. Let us word up and let us remember the words of Hamza Yusuf. He said, "Do not ever diminish the power of words, for words move hearts and hearts move limbs." Mr. Toastmaster.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if you're still in this room or you've been blown away by that amazing presentation. What up by Toastmaster Felicia Alamina. Please, can you drop those comments, just express yourself the way you feel. And by the way, remember a dash of what? Metaphor, a squeeze of what? A shake of what? An onomatopoeia, and a drizzle of which I wrote that one down, alliteration. Come on. Thank you, Toastmaster Felicia. We need to have the transcript of that speech put in a little pocket-sized note and shared to the good people on this call. Wow, fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
Added so much value here, and I'm pretty certain that you are the right choice we made to kick off today's open house. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our work cut out for us. Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful speech. So, friends, settle in. Yes, thank you. Keep your comments coming. So, Master Folu, just look in the comment section and revel in the great feedback that you're getting off the back of that wonderful spectacle that you just put together. Friends, it's about time that we get ready to kick off the first part of this show. Remember, what we're having today is a blend of an open house, evaluation contest, international speech contest. So it's a mouthful. You need to have some glass of water, or if you're drinking anything, just make sure it's not too strong so you can comprehend everything that we're talking about today, okay? Word of advice? Because we're about to start with the evaluation contest at this time. If you look in the chat box, good people behind the scenes have dropped the agenda so you can follow with us as we move. So please go there and download for yourself the agenda. Thank you. I can see so much feedback still coming out there. I believe our test speaker is ready. We know the rules for the evaluation contest. The speakers would have 2 to 3 minutes to speak. They've been briefed. I'm not going to go through that again. And of course, they will be moved out of the room by the Zoom master. Zoom master, give me a thumbs up to confirm you're ready once we get into this stride, right? Zoom master, please give me a thumbs up so that I'm sure you're ready. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the rules full scale. I just want people to enjoy. This is an open house. You would understand because we have guests, Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters. We don't want you to get lost in the maze of how we do things here. Just enjoy it. It's going to be a flurry of fine, fabulous speeches today. We'll have a test speaker come up whom I'll introduce now, after which our evaluation contestants will take turns to give their feedback. Can I have our test speaker come up on the screen for me to see? Where are you? Looking and looking, I can't find you. Oh, yes, I find you. I'll tell you quickly about our test speaker, and then I'll introduce her to you. Our test speaker is a member of OES Toastmasters Club, my club. She's the front desk officer at OES Energy Services. Our hobbies are singing and designing, right? That almost rings together. And our favorite quote is a mantra, or rather, a mantra is Steve Jobs, which says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. She's on the presentation mastery pathway, and our speech objective today, which is off the back of that pathway is, or that path rather, is to practice using vocal variety to enhance speech. Today, she'll be delivering a speech titled, Does Money Buy Happiness? Does Buy Happiness? Please make welcome to our test speaker today, Toastmaster Millicent Monye.
The famous saying, money can't buy happiness, originated from a 1750 proverb. Money buys everything except citizens and morality. But is it really the truth that money can't buy happiness? In a 2022 article from the Very Well Mind titled, What is Happiness? Psychologists and other social scientists say that happiness is the subjective well-being, and it is characterized by two key components. The first is the balance of emotions. Generally, if one is happy, it's said to have more positive emotions than negative ones, and also life satisfaction, which is generally how happy we feel with certain aspects of our lives. Steve Maraboli, an athlete and also a consultant, said that happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them. I like to say that happiness is the ability to meet my needs. And this leads to my first point. Money is a tool, and if it is used to meet our life goals and needs, can contribute to our overall well-being. Brittany Chow, a financial coach, says that money has brought her financial peace. She's working towards being financially independent. And this means that the money she earns, she invests it. And as it grows, it contributes to our overall well-being and makes her feel very happy. Also, money buys time and reduces stress. Wouldn't you be happy if those tedious and unpleasant tasks like cleaning, laundry, transportation were taken care of for us, and we were granted time to spend doing things that we found meaningful and enjoyable? I would. And in a 2019 article by Laura Entis from Fox, titled How to Spend Money to Squeeze More Joy Out of Life, it shows that outsourcing greatly impacts happiness. Even couples that were asked to spend on time-saving purchases reported that they were more happy when they spent time together, their moods were better, and they were less stressed. Furthermore, money can buy us experiences. I remember when I took a horseback riding with my family. My expression was not frowning. I was screaming, I'm having the time of my life. This elixir, the mighty elixir to happiness, is one thing I call people. Even though the experiences may come and go, they remain in our memory and in the connections that we foster. A large-scale survey by the University of Chicago's National Open Research Center shows that people with 5 or more social circles were more likely to describe themselves as very happy. So invest in your future. Set up regular lunch days. In addition, if you have enough money, you can also help others, or making others feel happy. Think of effective charities, foundations, sponsorships, or even scholarships for other young people can increase their overall well-being and make you very happy. To recap, I've said that happiness is the subjective well-being characterized by more positive emotions than negative ones. And it is also a tool, money is also a tool that if we use to purchase things that are quality and valuable, we will in turn make ourselves very happy. And some of these things are financial independence, time, experiences, and helping others. Finally, a British philosopher and mathematician, Bertrand Russell, said that to have some of the things we want in life is an indispensable part of happiness. In my opinion, you do not need to win a lottery or go into debt just to be happy. If we spend the money we have wisely on improving the quality of our lives and the lives of those around us, it will in turn contribute to our overall well-being and make us very happy. The question is, can money buy happiness? Well, let me ask you, can poverty buy happiness? Thank you. The contest chair.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the lady speak. And I don't mean to shoehorn it in for you, but she's saying if you're broke, you're sad. I don't know, but can you relate to what the good lady just said? Well, I don't want to go too far into this. Like I told you, this is an unconventional contest. So you would see some expertise and pep in our presentation that is not common to you. At this time, I'd like to ask Zoom masters, please quickly, yes, thank you for those comments. Please keep them coming, what you think about the last speech you just heard. But please, can I ask the Zoom master to move all the evaluation contestants to the Zoom room, where we'll give them 5 minutes to prepare their material before we bring in one of the contestants. And while you're doing that, Mr. Zoom Master, I'm going to pick on someone who just listened to this test speaker while we're waiting for the, yes, thank you. So the room has been open, breakout room has been open for the contestants to run in. So while we're waiting for them to sort themselves out, let me pick on someone today who is going to tell us what they think about money buying happiness. You know, it's easier to pick on you if your camera is open, but again, that's fine. So I'm going to pick on Sandra. Sandra, it's good to have you here. So our contestants have been moved into their little room. So I want you to come up if you don't mind. Hi, Sandra.
Thank you. Hi.
How are you today? What time is it where you're at?
It is 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow. So what do you think? Do you think money can buy happiness?
Money's worth is in how you invest it. Rather than just paying for bills, paying and buying and enjoying life. And that is what money can give us. And I think it's very important that we work towards equality in money and in finances and riches so that we can all have a wonderful life. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm not going to push you further than that. I just wanted to hear your perspective on it. And of course, it's good to hear what you think about it. So I'm going to ask our timekeepers to be on song once we have our evaluation contestants back. Like we said, this open house is open for guests Yes, we see all 70 people in this room already. It's a big room. Please note that I might call on you randomly to just jump into the conversation. You'd have to use the chat box a lot. Before I call on our first evaluation contestant, I'm going to, oh yes, my time is up. Don't tell me about it. I thought we should have like 1 more minute for the evaluation contestant to put their stuff together. I'm going to use a few seconds to ask someone in this room quickly. Well, it's a world of Google, so yes, you can cheat. We'll see whose fingers are fastest. And here's your first trivia question for today. And this is a very easy one. What animal can be seen on the Posh logo? That's a very easy one. What animal can be seen on the Posh logo? Someone said jaguar now. Is that correct? No? Going.
Horses.
That's right. Who said horses? That person couldn't wait, just confused.
I say it.
Giraffe.
Okay.
I said
Okay,
horses.
thank you. All right. Oh, I like the only specific. So if we were to be giving gifts, you say black horse. You
It's
see,
a horse. A horse, definitely.
it's a hearse. Okay, thank you. Okay, so hold your horses, right? Let's start here. Okay, just calm down. We'll call on. By the way, Mr. Area Director, confirm if we have gifts for people. When we get to the thick of it, right? Do we have some giveaways planned for today? Tell me.
Yes, we do have a giveaway plan. So for all our winners from any trivia, we'll just get a list and contacts and we'll reach them with their gifts after the open house. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. You see why you have to pay attention? People are celebrating in the comment section already. We're not giving away houses or cars, so don't get too excited. It's just small things to hold the... All right. And again, I should remind everyone to please keep their mics muted. I'll, as much as possible, try to do the housekeeping, but please make my job easy by keeping your mics mute. Zoom Master, please bring in our first contestant today to come speak to the last speaker's presentation. And once the person is in, let me know. So we'll be having a first contestant, just the first. Oh, Cindy's here already. The Zoom Master is super efficient. I love that. Cindy, please, can you come on and let me be sure that you can see, that we can see you rather. It's a big room. I have to find you. I found you. All right. Okay, excellent. Toastmasters, Cindy Junchu, can you hear me? Please confirm if you can see the timer or the timekeeper. Can you see the timekeeper?
No, I can't.
Timekeeper, please, can you reveal yourself?
I'm certain when the cards come up, I'll see them.
Okay, the time will be, the timing cards will be displayed, so look out for that. By the way, even though it's an open house, we don't expect people to give comments until all the speakers have completed their presentations, right? So we all remain mute. Yes, we'll speak about other things, but not comment on the respective presentations. Toastmaster Cindy, Junchu, you have the virtual lecture.
Money can't buy anything. That was a very strong opening. And I'm also drawn in. The contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, friends, and especially Toastmaster Millicent. When she said that, my ears were all up. I wanted to know what exactly she had to say to us today. I particularly liked two things about her speech this evening. The first thing was her body language. I liked how her hand gestures and her body language were used to convey the message of her speech today. Especially when she said, happiness is the ability to meet my needs. You could see the joy in her while she said that. I thought that was top-notch and very beautiful. The second thing I liked about her speech this evening was the structure. Every speech should have an opening, a body, and a closing. And Toastmaster Millicent did great justice to that today. When she started with that strong opening, money can't buy anything. I'm certain everybody stopped what they were doing and decided to look into their cameras or their phones or tablets or devices to hear what she had to say today. She went through a body, she had a beautiful body, citing beautiful and strong references to illustrate her points about the importance of money. And she ended very well, saying that giving 2 reasons why money is important, that it could buy financial independence and experiences. I thought that was really beautiful. By way of improvement, as hard as it is, or as it was to pick out a point of improvement for Toastmaster Millicent, I wish she had used props, maybe a background with money in the background to illustrate or to show that she was talking about money. I thought that would have that would have helped to drive home the point. If she had that background there, we would have related with the fact that she was talking about money. Overall, I thought she did a great job with her body language and her gestures today. I thought she had a beautiful structure to her speech. And if she had used a prop, that would have helped to add more light to her speech. Overall, she did a very good job today. And now I know that poverty can't buy happiness, but money can buy financial independence and an experience. Thank you, the contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cindy, for your evaluation. Please, may I ask that we bring the second evaluation speech contestant to this room. Thank you, Toastmaster Cindy. And while we wait for that to happen, let me quickly ask the brilliant people in this room, what is a simple word that represents the fear of dogs? Anybody know it? Let's look. We're looking in the comment section and someone is picking out a winner. I'm sure it's fastest finger first. What is the fear of dogs called? Going. Zoom master, let me know once is in the room. Anybody knows? Cynophobia. All right, thank you. Cynophobia. Someone said dog phobia. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. All right, so it's cynophobia. I think I have time for one more before the second contestant comes into the room. Or is the contestant number 2, are you in the room already?
He's here.
All right. We don't have enough time. I'm sorry. We'll come back to this after now. Don't worry, there are enough to go around. Contestant number 2, please reveal yourself. I'm struggling to find you so I can spotlight you. Oh, here you are. Brilliant. Toastmaster Emmanuel, you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
It seems I've lost you for a bit.
Right. Can you see me, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, so we're ready for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the next contestant today will be Toastmaster Emmanuel Aunde. Toastmaster Emmanuel, you have the virtual lecture.
Does money buy happiness? Ask yourself, does poverty buy happiness? Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests, especially Medicity. That was a very wonderful speech. It caught my attention because we've had this debate for ages. Does money actually buy happiness? I think your speech today helped us to understand the difference between the love of money and the need for money. Your speech was able to clearly explain the different ways we can use money to make ourselves happy, to achieve our various goals. That was very, very well done. Kudos. A few things stood out for me in your speech. One of the first things I loved about your speech was your use of your body language. Your speech was replete with gestures. You wore a beautiful smile throughout your speech. Of course, you're talking about money. It makes us happy. We're talking about happiness. So it conveyed the message in very clear terms. The particular example I love, when you're talking about, for you, happiness is when you use money to buy what you need. It kind of expresses the childlike innocence. When a child gets the gift they have been longing for, it was very well done. And it conveyed the happiness we're trying to express very clearly for all to see. Another thing that stood out for me in your speech was the structure of your speech. It was fantastically done. It had a clear beginning. You walk us into the main message, giving us the different ways money can make us happy. And you summarize at the end, giving a conclusion. What that did was to leave a very vivid and clear message in the mind of your listeners. That was superbly done. Another thing that stood out for me was your use of referencing. You made about 4 different references, meaning you did a lot of research before presenting your speech, and it gave authenticity to your speech. Is there anything that you could do to improve your speech even more? Yes, the use of vocal variety. Even though your voice was consistent and a happy mood was maintained throughout the speech, there were times you're supposed to display more emotion. Like when you're talking about your vacation, that's a happy mood. You know, the adrenaline, you could have displayed it more by speaking faster. That we went for vacation, it was very awesome. That could have displayed it more. Overall, I would say if you continue to demonstrate the use of body language, if you continue to use referencing your speech, and you improve on the use of vocal variety, your speech will be even more compelling. Over to you, Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manuel, for your presentation. Absolutely, the judges will do their work. Okay. And we're back to the trivia. Who's ready for this? Please, Zoom Master, please bring in the next contestant while I give the audience something light to chew, because it's about that time of the day when we have, is there anyone here who likes chocolates? If you like chocolates, please type chocolates in the chat box. Chocolates, 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 chocolates. I don't know how many chocolates. Oh my goodness. We need, there's an epidemic here, health epidemic. Chocolate, caramel, oh my goodness. This is a subject for another day. Oh my, and I can see the third contestant. You guys are going to forget, but hold your thoughts on chocolates before, when I get back, we're going to talk about chocolates. Contestant number 3, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Contest chair.
Did you get into the room while the second contestant was speaking? You're here so fast.
Got to when I had type chocolates.
Okay, that's fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pin the next contestant, and that will be Toastmaster Seogene Okarika. Toastmaster Seogene Okarika, contestant number 3, you have the virtual lectern.
Toastmaster Millicent, thank you so much for giving us a very introspective speech that asked us, does money buy happiness? During your introduction, we had heard that one of your hobbies was singing. And I think that seamlessly showed in your use of vocal variety, which was one of the key goals you had in this speech. I thought you did that beautifully. In addition, your use of quotes, you not only gave us reference to who said them, you also told us who they were. So in case I did not know who Steve Maraboli was, it was easy to understand and tell us that this is a credible source. I'm not just imagining what I see. In addition, when you were giving us stats and you mentioned the University of Chicago, I also thought that was very well done. I loved your vocal variety, especially when you said, I thought to myself, I'm having the time of my life. And then also when you asked, how would you be happy if those tedious and unpleasant tasks, cleaning, transportation, I thought that was really well done. You also had a very well structured speech. You opened very beautifully. You also seamlessly transitioned when you told us the tips you were going to give us. And even at the ending, when you gave us a recap. Another thing I absolutely loved was in when you shared your personal story. One thing about telling us about your horseback riding experience, what it showed authenticity and helped us remember your speech and your message about not thinking that money can buy happiness. What are some things I would look forward to in your next speaking engagement to make for an even richer speech? Your background and lighting while speaking. It is always recommended that we stand while talking because it helps us connect more with your speech. In addition, we're a bit distracted with the windows that seem swaying at the background. So you either use the recommended Toastmasters background or you blur your background. And then there's the standing. One thing about standing is it allows you use the full range of emotions and make use of the space available to you. I thought we were a bit limited with your gestures when you spoke because at some point it seemed like your hands were always on your table. I loved that you gave a beautiful recap. I absolutely loved your brilliant demeanor throughout the speeches. You gave very beautiful quotes. You gave very credible resources. You told us a personal story and you beautifully exemplified using vocal variety. One thing we absolutely love in Toastmaster speech. Toastmaster Millicent, I know that in your next speaking engagement, you would take some of these tips in even improving, which is standing while speaking to us to show the full range of emotions, being careful when you mention tips or use your hands. And I love that you told us a personal story. I thought that was very well done. And in giving us a beautiful recap. Thank you for even giving us a question to ponder about. Can poverty buy happiness or can money buy happiness? I personally know that I am already taking your tips of practicing financial independence, knowing how I spend my time and experiences, and helping others to seek happiness. Thank you, Toastmaster Millicent.
Thank you, Toastmasters Siogane. And of course, the judges would continue to do their work. Back to chocolates. So I can see a lot of people taking me on. People are stating their case for chocolates. I heard someone say, dark chocolates are healthy, Mr. Contest Chair. You don't know anything. You're from a Obama show. What do you know? Calm down, okay, guys? Just calm down. I'm not here to fight chocolate lovers. We are all in the same boat. Please let me know once the fourth contestant is in the room. But before then, I want someone to tell me quickly, fastest finger first. Oh, I can see contestant number 4. I'll give you the question. Which country consumes the most chocolate per capita? Start. Which country consumes the most chocolate per capita? Going. Which country? USA, wrong. I'm sorry, sir. Which country consumes the most chocolate per capita? France, Belgium, no. Sorry, chocolate lovers, you don't even know your chocolates, you see? But chocolate, you don't even know your chocolates, you see? Olumide, Switzerland. All right, thank you. Olumide was the first person to answer correctly. And thank you, contest number 4. We can see you. We're sorry, we're having fun. Hope it's not at your expense. Please be calm. All right, everyone back to square one. Let's behave ourselves. Our 4th contestant is in the room. I'm going to add her to the screen. Toastmaster Tobere Olumoye, are you great? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, you can. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th and final contestant today, Toastmaster Tobere Olumoye. Toastmaster Tobere, you have the virtual lecture.
Can it really be true that money can't buy happiness? The words of Toastmaster Millicent. Good evening, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, dearest guests. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Millicent, for that absolutely enthralling speech. I loved it. I particularly loved your use of facial expressions and graceful gestures. For example, when you said, doing the dirty dishes. Gestures enhance the quality of your speech delivery and help your audience go on the journey with you by feeling your emotions even more deeply. I also enjoyed your positive energy and the confidence you exuded throughout the course of that speech. Toastmaster Millicent, I was virtually cocooned in the comforting aura of your confidence. I felt it like I was in the same room with you. However, I have 2 recommendations for you. I feel if you had implemented these recommendations, they would have made the speech pop even more. Number 1, purposeful pacing. Oh, your speech had several opportunities to use purposeful pacing to enhance each of the points you tried to deliver. Unfortunately, because you were seated, you couldn't pace purposefully. Number 2, I felt you could have reduced the number of quotes and references you used in the course of that speech. Quotes and references are like pepper in the sauce. When used sparingly or lightly or just enough, the dish is delicious. But when used too much, they can overwhelm the taste of the dish. In spite of those recommendations, Toastmaster Millicent, I adored your thrilling transitions from one point to the next. Your use of signposts were fantastic. For example, using the words furthermore, generally, to recap, finally. Using signposts help your audience go on the journey of the speech with you. To summarize what I have said today, Toastmaster Millicent, lovely use of facial expressions and gestures, lovely confidence and aura. You can stand to deliver your speeches and use purposeful pacing better. Reduce the number of quotes and references in your speech. Please continue with those thrilling transitions. Toastmasters, guests, you will agree with me that if Toastmaster Millicent implements these recommendations in her subsequent speeches, the world will hear her voice and the world will come calling. The contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tabare. Whoa, wait a minute. I'm still contest chair. People, come on. I know. You can't wait to scream. Okay, you can unmute yourselves and scream. Please make some noise for all the contestants so far. You can drop your. Well done. Thank you. Yes.
Congratulations,
well done.
all the contestants. Good job.
Thank you. All right. Well done to all our contestants. And that brings us to the end of the first part of our show today. If you're having fun already, it's an open house and it's also contest day, but it's fun all the way. In a moment, we'll be having the international speech contestants. But before that, we'd like to break it a little bit, not to upset the apple cart, but to give you something else to chew on. Right, we have a fine young man who is going to deliver a short keynote address here. I'll come back to the trivia. I know y'all are enjoying it, but we have a speech to listen to. And please, can I have my second keynote speaker show up? Let me see you that you're here. Where are you? I need to find you. Where is Toastmaster Nemete? Can you turn your camera on for me so we can have you on the virtual lectern? Can someone hurry to the restroom and check if it's in the restroom? And while you're doing that, Toastmaster Chooks, please have someone go check Toastmaster Nemete in the kitchen.
He's right. I'm not sure if he's temporarily in the restroom, but
in the kitchenette.
I'm on the call, sir.
Oh, right. Please turn on your camera. Goodness gracious. I can't see you. For a minute, I thought you were in the kitchenette. Are you the one in Canada? Oh, right. I can see. Okay, so you're here. You're right here. Oh, goodness. It's great to have you here. Toastmaster, sorry, I didn't take you off the spotlight. Okay, there you go. All right. Toastmaster Nameti, it's good to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be our second keynote speech today. Zoom Master, please move all the judges, timekeeper, ballot counter to their room where they can do their thing for the next few minutes while our international speech contestants get ready to engage, if you like, in this battle of wits that we're about to witness. Okay, but before then, Toastmaster Nameti Akpan is on the dynamic leadership path of Toastmasters Pathways, level 5. He is a member of UYO Premier Speakers Toastmasters Club. His hobbies are talking as if we don't already know, taking a walk in nature and learning, and his favorite quote, this is fascinating, listen to this. The bird does not sing because it needs an answer. It sings because it has a song. And today he'll be speaking to us briefly on what he is titled, A Lasting Solution. And oh, wow, fantastic. Toastmaster Sandra from the United States is Toastmaster Nameti's mentor. This is some proud mentor moment here. So please, ladies and gentlemen, relax and listen to our second keynote speaker today, a good friend of mine, Toastmaster Nameti Akpan. Toastmaster Nameti, you have the virtual lectern. You may go ahead, please.
Wisdom. Come here. How many times have I told you that you shouldn't sleep in my class? Contest chair, delectable host, Toastmasters and guests. I was angry. And the words were struggling to come out of my mouth. I stuttered, stumbled, and stammered as I called this young boy in my class out. I had a cane in one hand, and as I looked down at him, my symbol of authority in one hand, I asked him for the umpteenth time, wisdom, why do you keep sleeping in my class? Please, teacher, please, teacher. I will not sleep again, please. That is exactly what wisdom keeps saying. He is not going to sleep again in class. For the past 3 weeks, this young man has come to school in a drowsy mode, half awake, eyes dripping as if he had a late night wake-keeping vigil, and then dozes off almost in all the classes, until it became the concern of not just his classmates, not just the subject teachers, but everyone in school. Brilliant boy, innocent eyes, brown hair, fair, beautiful, with a smile that twinkles, that the girls in the class would fall in love with him. That was wisdom. Everyone loved wisdom. And so, as I looked down at him once again this day, I knew that I would never have to flog the hell out of him again. I felt pity. I felt stupid because each time I flogged him, he kept doing the same thing. I felt clueless. As a teacher, I knew not what to do. How many times in your life have you had to do the same thing all over again just to find results to a problem and realized how stupid you were? How many times will you try the same thing just to solve the same problem? That day, as I went back home, I met someone who came to my rescue, my grandmother. And that day, I realized that my grandmother was a lot more educated than most of the teachers that I worked with. A strong, uncanny wisdom and a sense of intuition. And she said to me, my son, you need to talk to wisdom. You cannot be using the cane on him all the time. Talk with wisdom. I am his teacher. He should listen to me. After considering the advice, I saw it as a wake-up call to have a wake-up talk. And then the next day I went to school. I invited wisdom over, excused the whole class, confided in him that I was not going to use the cane anymore. And what I found out was revealing and astonishing. The presence of absent parents, a mother who was separated from the father, and a busy businessman, wealthy mogul that traveled out of the country constantly, leaving wisdom to the care of a domestic staff that could not pay attention to his activities at night. So wisdom creeps out of bed constantly and spend hours watching TV up till about 2 a.m. I felt pity for him. I knew that he needed help at that point. That was my light bulb moment. A million fireworks in my consciousness. And then, after that experience, I learned 2 lessons. Number 1, anger doesn't solve problems. Like Barack Obama said sometimes, we don't need heat, we need light. The light of compassion, sensitivity, empathy, and understanding. In the words of Norman Vincent Peale, the problem contains the seed of the solution. Number 2, we all join Toastmasters to learn how to speak to people. But how often do we think about speaking with people? We are public speakers, but how often do we speak in private? I learned that when you speak to people, you speak from a position of authority. But when you speak with people and have conversations, you build a connection, you build a bridge that makes it easier to solve problems. In 2020, I ran into Wisdom's father in the supermarket. And then he saw me and asked me, young man, you've grown. I said, yes, sir, I have grown. How is Wisdom? And he said to me, Wisdom got a scholarship, traveled out, he's doing his master's degree in the States. Wow. I was happy. As he walked away, I saw in Wisdom's father a representation of change and hope. I imagined to myself how many leaders will leave the exalted position of authority to have conversations with their members. How many government executives will leave the exalted position and relinquish their ego and build bridges. How many parents could sit down on the dinner table with the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds and have conversations? How many powerful wars could have been evaded if the leaders of the powerful countries could afford to have conversations. An anonymous quote said that it takes bravery to have a life-changing conversation. And I dare add, it takes courage to sit at the same table, to build a bridge between adults and children, leaders and followers, government officials and citizens, to have conversations. In Toastmasters, we need conversations. And I ask you as you go out today, is there a conversation that you think, if you have, will change the direction of history in your relationship, in your club, in your family, in your community? Why not invite the other party for that conversation? I leave us with a quote with David White. When we have conversations with people, we invite them into our space and we create a safe space for them to tell us not just what they want, but what they expect. Not just how they feel, but how they want to be treated. Having conversations, we have the potential of changing the direction of history forever. And we can have lasting solutions to our problems. Thank you very much. To you, our host, the contest chair. Thank you.
Wow.
Amazing. Woo!
What do I say? We're short of words, Toastmaster Nemeti, for sharing with us your thoughts today on a lasting solution. It's tremendous what you've shared with us. I'm pretty certain all over the world where this speech is being listened to now, you've struck a chord with people and they're able to go from here on and take definite steps to make their lives better. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom again today. All right. Friends, we're moving into the home run. They call it, this is, if you were to be in local parlance in Nigeria, you hear them say this is the Koko, which is a song by a popular Nigerian musician, right? This is the Koko, which is, this is the main thing. I like to tell people, this is the crux of the crucible. We're moving into the international speech contest, and we have 5 contestants all ready. They promised to me that they would not be drugged up, and I know they're not. I know they're in their clear minds and they're ready to rumble. Please, Mr. Chief Judge, can you confirm to me that all your judges and role players are back in the room and we're ready to start, because we're conscious of time. Looks like we allowed time slip by a bit. If you're just joining as well, please note a link has been dropped in the chat box for you to fill. We'll appreciate if, please, Toastmaster Ese, can you drop that again so that... Okay, looks like we have some... Okay, it's gone off. Please keep yourselves muted as well. Chief Judge, please confirm to me that your role players are ready. Thank you. Oh, right. I apologize, friends. I keep muting the gentleman. I may be forced to excuse him from the room. It's a very passionate conversation they're having there. I'm sure it's not too far away from Toastmasters terrain. Please, Mr. Chief Judge, can you confirm to me that your role players are ready? Toastmaster Tosin Olorunleke. I want to be sure before I invite our first speaker today. I'm not going to repeat the rules, just so you know, all our speakers have been briefed. Your role as a guest, as a Toastmaster here today, is just to enjoy the speeches. Toastmaster Chooks, I can't find the Chief Judge. Has he been taken away?
He hasn't. You will see him right about this moment.
I'm usually concerned when I host Area 23 contest because the people of Area 23 They are bourgeois. They always put a bounty on everything. So maybe the winner goes away with X millions of naira and they've whisked away our chief judge. I don't know. We don't know where he is. So please, again, while we're at it, please look in that chat box. There is a link for you to fill your details, a short form. Just let us know. We want to stay in touch with you. I know you are here. Toastmaster Tosin, are you here now? Are your role players here?
Yes, we are.
Excellent stuff. We're getting worried. We wanted to be sure that you had not been taken away because I cannot pay any ransom. I'm just here to do my job. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from, Canada, United States, Port Harcourt, remote location, it is time. Just as you were so organized during the first bout, would like your comments to be held until all 5 contestants have spoken. In between, we may get banters, stories, trivia, but nothing about the speakers until we are done. Is that good? I hope we're good. All right. So we'll kick off in earnest with our first contestant today. By the way, they all know the rules. And our first contestant today is ready. Please, can you switch on your camera and let me know you can see me? Can you see me?
I can see you. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker today from All City Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Bukola Oladiti. Bukola the Coffee Bean. Bukola the Coffee Bean Toastmaster Bukola Oladiti.
Look at my skin. Look at how dark and beautiful I am. It will then not surprise you to know that the title of my speech is Bukola the Coffee Bean. Mr. Contest Chair, co-contestants and friends, just few months back, I had visited my mentor and shared with her about how life was getting at me and how I had just gotten a letter from my workplace, which got me depressed, following the emotions of having to rewrite an examination because of the same work. She said to me, Bukola, great people are made from great adversities. Adversities are part of life, but they were not moved or discouraged or deprived of the good they will get from those situations. As I stared at her slowly, she said to me, I will share a story with you, a story of 3 kitchen food items: the carrot, the egg, and the coffee bean. The carrot is a hard, firm, and strong vegetable, and the egg, soft, flexible, and could even break at just enough, while the coffee bean is dark, yet strong. These 3 were subjected to eat for 20 minutes in 3 pots of boiling water. And after 20 minutes, it was discovered that the carrot, which was hard and firm and strong, became soft and brittled, while the egg, which were soft and flexible, became very hard, tough. And the coffee bean changed the color of the boiling water. As she looked at me, she continued and told me, Bukola, in life, we all are like any of these 3 items. When faced with the difficulties, the disappointments, the delays in life, some are like the carrots. They were firm, strong, wanted to happen in life. But when the heat of life came, they became weak and uninterested in engaging in life. While some are like the egg. They were soft and flexible, but when the heat of life came, they became very hard and tough, callous, mean, and inaccessible. Some are like the coffee bean. They changed the situation completely and became better people. She turned and asked me, Bukola, which would you be? I left my mentor's office that day and said to myself, Bukola, you may be tired, you may be fed up, you may be close to breaking, but in you is strength. Keep fighting until you come to the end of the circumstances. Fellow Toastmasters, we all have options when there are unbearable knocks of life. When situations are hard, even situations such as no electricity, ASU strike, high cost of living, inflation, high inflation, and even such thing that is usually called SAPA, holding the neck with a globetrot hold, which means there's no cash. We can decide to be like the carrot and let life make us into a soft mush, or be like the egg and become pessimistic and inaccessible, or be like the coffee bean by persisting until we transform our lives and become better people. It was Robert Schuller that said, tough times never last, but tough people do. May I ask, which would you rather be? The carrot, the egg, or the coffee bean? I am Bukola, the coffee bean. Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you, contestant number one. Please, can we hold our horses and just thank you, Toastmaster Bukola. We'll have the second contestant get ready. And before I bring up the second contestant so that I can give the judges a few seconds to put their thoughts together, I'm going to read to you a quote. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Oh no, you just had to do that. Muriel Shabazz, Michael Jordan. Yes, you are right. Please take notes. Yes, that is our winner for that particular trivia, and that's correct. It's Michael Jordan. And that's some sort of encouragement to anyone listening to this. Almost 80 of us in this room. Really, you should keep trying. Failure is just part of the story. I'm not here. Yes, you will take your prize. A trip to Lagos. I'm not here to give you any motivational talk. I'm here to introduce the second speaker, or rather the second contestant. Toastmaster Godson, confirm that you can hear me at this time.
I can hear you very loud and clear.
Brilliant. See, I'm having to lick some mint because I don't know what's going on with my throat, but it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our second contestant. Toastmaster Godson, DSO from Prestige Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Godson, DSO, why? Why Toastmaster Godson, DSO?
Hi, everyone. Whoever told our parents, once they woke you up at midnight and gave you a comprehensive whipping, beat you till you turn blue, that you'll be wise in the morning? Because I don't get it. I was a victim. My dad will whoop your butt any time of day, morning, noon, and night, and expect you to be prim and proper in the morning. For God's sake, why not get it done at daytime while I'm still awake and allow me to have a good night's rest? I always ask, why? I never got the answer. I'm still searching for it. The contest chair, my co-contestants, fellow Toastmasters, my dad was a strict disciplinarian, but my dad also was my first real teacher. I learned a lot from him. My dad always asked, why? So 25 years ago, when he passed, my first year at my university, it was a very devastating blow for me and my family. And the question on all of our lips at the time was, why now? And in tears, I recalled what my dad used to preach about as a pastor. My dad always said that we are all on a journey. The life is a journey. And in this voyage called life, there are several voyages without which the big picture cannot be understood. These mini expeditions come with various timelines to be met, and they present us with critical milestones to be achieved. Attaining these critical transformative milestones within the allotted time energizes this journey that we call life. What journey are you starting? What voyage are you embarking on right now? Why haven't you started? You know, why is the most asked question, and at the same time, the least understood and the least answered. It is so delicate, but yet so profound. Why? Why is a question of purpose? Because it encapsulates the original intent. Matter of fact, if you seek to gain comprehension of any matter whatsoever, it's always best to strive for its why. You ask why? Well, that's a good first step. I'll tell you, the reason is simple. It's because why reveals intent. It showcases the purpose for a thing, whereas where gives you direction, why gives you the reason for the journey, and hence the stamina to sustain and hopefully complete the journey to where. Many of us are traveling on journeys today and we know not why. Why? You know, when you know the why, when you know the reason, it gives meaning to the journey and hence a positive sense. It does reveal a positive sense of destiny and significance. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, one thing that cannot and should not be trivialized is the fact that the power of your true identity lies in the discovery of your why. Why are you here? Why are you doing the things that you're doing right now? Knowing the what is good, but by all means, fellow Toastmasters and guests, please know the why, because therein resides your true essence and wisdom. When you find your why, you would have answered the question of your life. When you find your why, you become unshakable, present, and intentional. Knowing your why protects your what. Knowing your why preserves and nourishes your worth. When you know your why, your brilliance becomes evident. You begin to attract the right kind of people, positive into your life. Now, the expression of great minds and resources is the burgers and noble vision. that if you want to be the best, then you've got to be with the best. And that's why I'm here as a Toastmaster. You know, being a Toastmaster is admirable, but being a Toastmaster is only a tool to finding, fulfilling, and establishing your why. In other words, being a Toastmaster is a mini expedition in this grand pilgrimage that we call life. And so if you're not using your membership, if you're not using your project, if you're not using your various competencies, and if you're not using your associations and your relationship to find, fulfill, and establish your why, at this very moment, my question to you is, why? Over to you, contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Godson. We'll allow the judges do their thing. And of course, I have a few seconds to quickly ask you a question or help you think along something before the next speaker comes along. I'm turning between asking you a question and reading you a quote, but I like this one. Listen to this. It's about the mighty mosquito, and some of you may know this. It says, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. This is an African proverb by Wu. If you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Going. I'm going to go with my prize for this one, but I'm sure the thought is enough for you. The Dalai Lama, Olumide, excellent stuff. Dalai Lama, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. You don't want to do that, right? Moving to the next speaker, we're on speech number 3. You're just joining us, we're almost done with this show, especially the singing ones. This is the third contestant. Toastmaster Ikuchi Joy James, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Toastmaster Ikuchi Joy James from Pecten Toastmasters Club. Marie Paravivir. Toastmaster Joy Ikuchi James, Marie Paravivir.
The contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I'd like to take you on a short but very intense journey into the life of a young adult. I'm going to tell you about how one incident changed the course of her life forever. Whether that change is positive or negative, I'll let you decide at the end of the story. So are you ready? Come along with me. August 9th, 2009 will always reign supreme as one of the worst days in the life of a young adult called Maria. If you're Nigerian or you live in Nigeria, you know that on sunny Sunday afternoons, the two most important things are church service and Sunday jollof. So Maria and her friends had finished from church service and they were outside chit-chatting, bantering, whilst they waited for their parents. Just as they were talking, one of her friends said, I remember, Abigail said today was her birthday. An opportunity for Sunday jollof. Sunday was complete. So in a group, they marched to Maria's parents and managed to cajole them to allow Maria go with them to Abigail's house for her party. They all walked in a group. Remember, these were young teens, so they didn't have a car at the time. They had to walk to the point where they would pick up a cab to Abigail's house. As they walked, Maria got a call that distracted her. Whilst her friends had crossed over to the other side of the road, Maria was taking this call. Whilst this was happening, she walked into the road. And then she heard a loud shout. Maria, stop! But it was too late. At that point, there was a loud bang, and just like something out of a horror movie, or maybe an action movie, a police van had swept Maria off her feet. I'm sure she would have preferred a prince instead of a police van at this point. She was up in the air, she landed on the floor, face on concrete, the whole works.
concerned passerby saw that she was in panic and shock together with the rest of her friends. And this good Samaritan took Maria to a nearby hospital for first aid. While this was happening, her parents were called, they rushed to the hospital, calls were made, and just like magic, Maria was whisked away to a NAF base where she was taken out of the country in a medical ambulance. I'm sure this is like washing the dirty linen of Nigerians' healthcare, but I'm sorry, this was what happened. Fast forward to when she was in South Africa for this surgery. She had done series of procedures, skin grafting, which entails that a part of your skin is taken out from a healthy part and put on the scarred part to cover it just a bit. She had to rearrange her femur. There was a lot done, but in 2 weeks, she was back home in Nigeria. I'm sure by now you're saying, thank God, Maria made it. No, this was only the beginning of her woes. Her problems really started. The recovery process was hard. It was tough. She was mentally, psychologically, physically, physiologically scarred. This girl's life was over. She died inside. Every single day she would have nightmares of the screeching sound that she last heard before the accident happened. She couldn't even take baths because she was covered in bruises. How was she supposed to put water on her body? Her mom had to skin dry her every single day. It was pain upon pain. She even lost 1 year of school. By the time she got back, she was called all sorts of names. The bullying was intense. She was called Scarface. She was called, name it, every nasty word you can find in the school of bullies. That's what she was called. She would come back home crying all the time. She hated her face. She hated to look at mirrors. This once beautiful girl with so much self-esteem was now brought down to nothing. She was in a wheelchair. She had to be helped everywhere. She felt like a burden to everyone. Bob Marley said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you had. On one very, very bright morning, Maria had this realization, and she decided to pick up her life again. Thanks to family, thanks to friends, thanks to therapy, she was able to pick the pieces of her life and start to move on again. She was healing physically, but also mentally. Maria began to live life with the avidity that she used to before. She told herself, I didn't die, so at least I can live again. Her parents helped, everyone around her helped. Okay, this is the interesting part. I am Maria, and right here in my shaky hands is that jacket I wore on that Sunday morning when the accident happened, covered in dirt and blood. A few years ago, I probably won't be able to hold it because I'd be super traumatized. I'll probably cry while I was doing it, bawling, in fact. But today I'm here. If you look closely, you'll see that there's still some scars on me. I never used to wear things like this, but now I show my skin, flaunt it however I want because I am much better. I died, but guess what? I am living again. More parabvir. Let me tell you something. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. I don't know what the situation might be right now in your life and you're going through something so devastating that you feel you can't get out of. Just like me, you can. If you feel you have died, you can live again. Pick up the pieces of your life. If I could do it, you can do it. This girl is here today, flaunting her beauty, flaunting her sass, talking to other people that have gone through much worse situations because she's been there, done that. So today, are you going to pick up the pieces of your life? Are you going to live again after dying? I leave you with that question. The contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kuchi Joy James. And of course, we all hold on to our feedback until the very end. We have speaker number 4 coming up next, but just before that, to lighten up the mood in the room, because I know what you're like. Since you like chocolates, you're gonna like the next thing I'm gonna ask you. Which country invented ice cream? Which country invented ice cream? Okay, going once, going twice. Iceland, nope, I'm sorry. Going once, going twice. UK, I'm sorry, no. China, Canada said China. Oh my goodness. Yes, I didn't get called out with the Oh no, if only. Russia, I'm sorry, no. Thank you. So we have another winner. I'm sure my team is working background to note all the winners. Thank you. Yes, it's China. And if we later find out it's not China, you can come and meet me in Lagos. We'll slug it out, okay? But that's not the story. The story is that the fourth speaker is ready. And our fourth speaker today, by the way, of course, remember that you're supposed to keep all your feedback and all your approbation for the speakers till the very end. Our fourth speaker today, as I said, will be Toastmaster King Ojikemba from Sterling Toastmasters Clubs. Toastmaster King, review yourself, please. Toastmaster King, can you hear me, please? Yes, you can.
Yes, I can hear you. Please confirm you can hear me and you can see me.
That's correct. Thank you, Toastmaster King. I can hear you and I can see you. Toastmaster King Ojikemba, the pathway to significance. The pathway to significance, Toastmaster King Ojikemba.
The year was 2006 when I gained admission to study law in the prestigious University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I had one goal written down in my book. By the time I got to my final year, in every 3 students of the university, one of them must have heard my name, King Ojikemba. I was going to be seen, to be known, to be noticed. Is there anyone on this call who likes to be ignored, overlooked, or disregarded? Anyone? Just click the raise hand button on your device. I would love to meet you after this speech. Everyone loves recognition, honor, and victory. On that note, I would like to recognize the contest chair, esteemed judges, distinguished Toastmasters, and guests from all over the world. Greetings. When I resumed the university, I started working on my strategy to fame. I discovered that there were different categories of stars on campus. There were the big boys and girls who drove posh cars to class, partied every weekend, clubbed every Friday. Then there were the set of students who were topping the class every semester and were determined to graduate in the first class. Then there were the political figures, the student union bodies, the faculty presidents and executives. And there were the religious leaders, the imams and the campus fellowship pastors and executives. I didn't want to chill with the big boys. I was okay with finishing with a 2-1, and I was not interested in politics or becoming a pastor, but I found my category, the Literary and Debate Club. These were the set of persons who represented the hostel, the faculty, the university in debate and oratory contest. This will be my ticket to fame. During my 3rd year in university, life presented me my opportunity. It was the biggest public speaking contest in the university. It was called the Super Bowl. Everyone attends the Super Bowl, from the vice chancellor to the janitor. It was a platform to be seen, to be known, to be noticed. About 800 students enrolled for this contest, and 10 of us made it to the finals. The posters of the top 10 finalists were pasted all over campus, and instantly I became popular. But at the end of the contest, only one person would be remembered, the first place winner. In the words of successful American golfer, Walter Hagen, he said, "No one remembers who came in second." Second meant failure to me, and I was determined to be the king of Super Bowl. So I prepared, prayed, practiced, and made promises to God. On the day of the contest, the entire university showed up to watch the emergence of the king of public speaking. I'd heard the other 9 finalists speak before, but just one person was a threat, Faith Abiodun. He was the Obama of public speaking, and he had the crowd. When my name was called up to speak, I walked up to the podium confidently. Just a fraction of students who knew me applauded, but I spoke like it would be my last. And when I was done, the ovation was deafening. It became apparent to the audience that the championship was down to 2 persons, King and Faith. When the chief judge was about to announce the name of the second place winner, a wind of silence swept the hall. I mean, you could cut the tension with a seesaw. I looked up, prayed, and I reminded God that I was his son. And then I heard, second place winner, King Ojikemba. The audience went wild. I felt the javelin of envy pierce through my soul. Faith was declared the winner. I saw him drop to his knees. His fans and family and friends rushed to the podium to celebrate with him. And then there was confetti, fireworks, music, stand up for the champion. And in all that frenzy, I was forgotten in the background. Second place. But on my way back to my hostel that night, something remarkable happened that changed my perspective of success for life. And that is the focus of my speech. I heard someone call my name behind. I turned and I saw this tall, huge guy walk up to me with tattoos. And he said, "Hi, King. I heard your speech a while earlier. That speech was for me. When you kept saying, 'You are the lifeline,' I felt it deep in my soul." You see, I'm a cultist, but after hearing you speak, I decided to renounce cultism. I just ran up to you just to tell you, thank you. And then I watched him walk. I can't recall how long I stood trying to decipher what, and then it dawned on me. I lost the championship, but I won soul. Someone renounced cultism just by listening to a 5-minute speech. I ran to my room, brought out the book we had written to be seen, known, and remembered by 1 out of 3 students. I canceled it out and I wrote to give hope, inspiration, and salvation through my words. I resolved that day that I don't just want to touch plaques, I want to touch lives. I don't want to win awards, I want to win souls. I don't want fame, I want a good name. I don't want medals, I want impact. I don't want success, I want significance. It's been a decade since that episode, but that has been the driving force for me. Behind every speech I deliver, every sermon I preach, every book I write, every event I organize, that just maybe there is someone in the audience, in the world, on this call who will hear me speak and will draw the water of hope and inspiration from the well of my message. Ladies and gentlemen, what is your goal for 2022? Is it money over character? Position over relationship, success over significance? Please choose the pathway to significance. Choose impact. I have seen people chase greatness, but I've gotten nowhere. But those who chased impact, who follow the path of significance, had greatness, chase them. Ladies and gentlemen, as I touch down, you may forget everything I've said in the past 6 minutes, but let this be your takeaway. It's okay to come in second place, third, or even last in position, as long as you made impact. Mr. Contest Chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster King. And of course, everyone hold on to your thoughts. We'll have one more speaker and then you can unmute yourselves and make a lot of noise for our contestants. We have one more speaker and I'm going to give the judges a few seconds to put their thoughts together so that I don't hurry them a lot. While they're doing that, can the final speaker confirm to me that you can hear me, Toastmaster Odera?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Toastmaster Odera, I'm going to put you on the spot right away because we're starting to wind down. You're the final speaker today. Okay, without taking much more time, I'm sure the judges will be able to organize themselves. Our final speaker today, fifth speaker, Toastmaster Billy DK from Total JV Toastmasters. Toastmaster Odera Billy DK, Prejudices. Prejudices, Toastmaster Odera Billy DK.
Good evening. How are you? Are you fine? Okay. What's your name? Shola? Okay. Are you the one my caretaker said wants to take my flat to live in? Okay, that's good. Where are you from? Akamata. Akamata. No. Nobody from Akamata can ever live in my flat. Never, 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 never. The contest chair, co-contestants, Toastmasters, and guests. I'll be speaking on prejudices. Now, if you may be wondering what that was to disabuse the minds of Nigerians even without knowing it. We have met the enemy of equality, and that enemy is us. What's a stereotype? A stereotype is a widely held but fixed, a stereotype is a widely held but fixed idea or image of a particular type of person or thing. Now, in the world we live in today, there are various forms of prejudices. We have the gender bias, also known as sexism. Now, the gender bias thing affects both genders, but it is disproportionately skewed against the women folk. There are expectations of society against the woman, both domestically, and there's also discrimination against women in the corporate space. There is also the tribal bias. Now, I'm bringing it home. Nigeria is a country with over 360 ethnic tribes. But you hear things like, what's his name? Ebuka. Ah, he's an Igbo guy. Ah, that one like money. He's more predisposed to engaging in ritual exercises. Ah, no near than too much. Prejudice. There is also religious bias. Now you hear some people say, wrongly, I must add, wrongly, that people who are Muslims or Islamic inclined are more prone and predisposed to terrorist attacks, to violence. That again is prejudice. Now, why do these forms of prejudice exist in our world? The primary readers' experiences with these groups of people, and these person. Now I'll explain what that means. It simply means when a person of a group behaves how we expected that person to behave, it then confirms and strengthens our notion about that group of people. Another reason why prejudices persist of prejudices. Number one, which I touched on earlier, discrimination. Now, employers who attempt to hire a stereotypical male heterosexual are more inclined to discriminate against gay people. Discrimination based on a prejudiced mindset. For the women, which is more significant in this month of March, with the International Women's Day, with the theme breaking the bias, women are faced with all forms of biases in the corporate world. For instance, who is forced to pick between two people more competent prejudice by virtue of the nation you come from, Nigeria. Some people see Nigeria as a pariah state. They say everybody here is fraudulent. And then you paint everybody with one brush. There's also a concept known as attributional ambiguity. I'll quickly explain that. It means for the stereotyped individual, for instance, you go for an interview and you get the job. Instead of celebrating, you're mentally confused. You start thinking, did I get this job because I was suitably qualified or because I was pitied and given the job? Conversely, if you don't get the job, you think, I didn't get this job. Was it because I was not qualified or because the hiring manager is prejudiced against my group of people? As I close, John F. Kennedy said, and I quote, excuse me, conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. I dare say, I would like to add to that quote, conformity to negative stereotypes is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Let's educate ourselves. Let's move biases from the periphery to the center of our consciousness. Let's resist. Let's oppose any form of prejudices that exist. I believe if we rid ourselves of these preconceived prejudices and fight this scourge and blight of biases, negative biases, it will stand us in good stead and leave us in a better world. Thank you, the contest chair.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dara. And while we have Toastmaster Dara here, I'm just going to add, please, you can unmute yourselves and make some noise at this time if you wanted to. Also.
Yay!
Awesome
job. Fantastic.
Great, wonderful.
Wow, Toastmaster Dara, thank you for that. Toastmaster King. And I wanted to add all the contestants here at the same time so they could get this big ovation, but you have to put on your, or rather switch on your cameras so I can add you. Without your camera, I can't add you. So Toastmaster Dara, Toastmaster King, Toastmaster Kuchi James, everyone, please put on your camera so I can add you to the spotlight. I want you to get this ovation all together at once. Where are you, Toastmaster King? Yes, please keep the noise going. Yes, spectacular, amazing.
Congratulations, everyone.
Toastmaster
Kuchi.
Good job, great job.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Good word.
I'm looking for the other speakers. They've not put on their cameras, so I can't add. Okay, Toastmaster Joy here. You. Aha, we need, where are the other? We have Toastmaster Bukola, where are you? And then, where's Toastmaster Bukola? If they're not gonna, oh yeah, I found you. You renamed yourself. Aha, okay. Don't worry, today is a bit strange. I'm not going to have time to interview you. Where's the last? Toastmaster Godson, I know he had some challenges with his network earlier. Maybe he's not able to switch his camera back on. So congratulations, all of you. I just wanted to use as an opportunity to give you guys a big round of applause so you can have the spotlight all together, right? I know you're all feeling good. Congratulations, and of course, all the best. Like they always say, the cliche is what? Everyone is a winner. Okay, big round of applause for these guys again one more time. And we'll go straight away to the results for our evaluation contest. Oh, wow, my, oh my, oh my. Are you ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? We're winding it down. We today have had an orthodox combination of an open house with an evaluation contest and international speech contest. And they've been what? Cutting edge stuff. Listen to our keynote speakers earlier, Toastmaster Meti Akpan, and of course, word up by Toastmaster Fulu. It's been phenomenal. Don't move a muscle, because right now we're going to give you the results from the evaluation contest. And I would like you to please give those drum rolls. Let them start coming. Toastmaster, whether Zoom master, confirm you're ready for me as we get ready to do this. Yes, because we promised you we'll close at 6. I would have to appeal that you give us a few extra minutes to announce the results. From the way things are going, we'll close a little after 6. Are we forgiven? I know you're generous people. After all, it's the
Yes, you are forgiven. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I love your generosity. Yes. Toastmaster Wede, confirm to me that you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Excellent. Where are evaluation speech contestants? Please, can you all come online? That's Toastmaster Tobore, Toastmaster Cindy. Oh yes, I should bring you guys to the spotlight at this time. Please make some noise for this great, lovely, lovely people. Where's Toastmaster? Say, woo! Make some noise for them. Come on. Toastmaster, say you need to put on your camera. There's one more person. Yes. Wow. Congratulations, people. Well, Toastmaster Emmanuel, I can't find you. Are you running away from the spotlight? Okay. But that's fine. This is just congratulating you. Okay, Toastmaster, I say you were off for a minute. Please, guys, take a screenshot of these lovely people. You know, these are.
Yes, we are.
Yes, take a screenshot. Can you guys smile? Say cheese.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Say chocolate. Not chocolate. All right.
Dark chocolate.
Chocolate. Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Thank you. All right, I'm not going to let all you go, and then I will announce the second runner-up, and I'll decide whether I'll announce the runner-up or the winner. So you hold on, okay? The suspense is mine. So I'd like to have some drum rolls at this time. If you're ready, they are the drum rolls. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Thank you. Thank you. I like that energy. Okay, no more drum rolls. I'm okay with the drum rolls now.
Okay.
All right, so our second runner-up today is none other than Toastmaster. Hold on a second. Before I read the results, Mr. Chief Judge, are you here or you gone out of the room?
He's out of the room now. Yeah.
Okay, host, Toastmaster Chooks, did the Chief Judge confirm to you that these results have been vetted by all the human beings and organizations in this world that need to vet it?
Did confirm, yes.
Okay, excellent stuff. That's me, doing my job so that nobody comes for me. I had no hand in these results in case there's a bounty for the winner. You understand? Right, I'm just the host. Our second runner-up today, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Toastmaster. Starts with an Emmanuel Aunde. Please make some noise for Toastmaster Emmanuel. Congratulations, Toastmaster Emmanuel. Where are you? Oh my goodness. Congratulations. It's not easy to win these things, right?
Right.
Where are you, Toastmaster Emmanuel? Is a whoa. What I didn't tell you is that we have a virtual kitchenette today, and it's got lots of dark chocolate, coffee, cookies. It's probably there. So congratulations, Mr. Emmanuel. And I would, at this time, present to you the winner. Should I keep you in suspense? Maybe I should give you the runner-up first. I love being contest chair. You guys can't wait to hear it, and I'm just holding it. You're feeling like I'm choking you. Are you feeling like I'm choking you? Don't feel like, just relax, drink water, okay? All right, everyone. The winner today of our evaluation contest, the Area 23 contest, ladies and gentlemen, fitting champion today. The winner is a lady. Well, I thought that was obvious. We have 3 ladies left. Yes, lady, fully declared lady, no contest about that. And she is none other. Before I tell you the winner, I want to tell you a story. So you guys hold on. You guys hold on. Just hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Just calm down. All right. I know you want to hear it. Just calm down. How many people love fried chicken here or grilled chicken? If you're a healthy person, you like fried chicken, grilled chicken, whatever kind of chicken. So let me know yours. Is it grilled chicken or fried chicken? Well, I'm going to give you the results. Grilled chicken or fried chicken? I'm looking at if I don't see enough chicken responses, I won't give you the results. Grilled chicken, okay, grilled chicken, fried chicken. Let's go, come on, fried chicken. So how many of you, well, this is a free advert for Kentucky Fried Chicken. How many of you like Kentucky Fried Chicken? KFC, they're not even paying me for this. Can you imagine? KFC, anybody like KFC? No. See, well, KFC, yes, someone say yes. Oh, well, chicken condom blow. Someone say yes, KFC. Okay, I'll tell you something quickly. I'll give you the results. Don't go anywhere, okay? One day, I was on a run. Those that follow me know that I like to go on runs. On this day, I was on a half marathon run. And the day before, I was nearing the end of the run. The day before, I didn't have dinner. So of course, I was in a bad shape. Looking straight ahead, as I was getting to the end, I spotted KFC right ahead of me. This is one of the reasons I will never forget KFC in my life. As I got towards the end of the race, well, it was my race, I was in competition with myself, I stopped by KFC. And the attendant said to me, your mask. I wasn't wearing a mask. I said, please, I just need to go in, please. I said, your mask. So as the person was bantering on mask, I had to come clean. I don't want food. I'm pressed. The person looked at me funny. What do you say? I said, I need to use the restroom. And the person goes like, oh, sorry, sir. Goes, runs. But before the person got back to me, I almost disgraced my family, my children, my parents. I almost disgraced everybody because it was number 2. It wasn't number 1. But well, thankfully, the keys to the restroom arrived before I answered the call of nature. Until today, every day I drive past that KFC, I just look, I don't see chicken. People pass there, they see chicken, all I see is their restroom. And I say, thank you, KFC, thank you. Thank you, KFC. They helped me. It would have been a mess. Okay, well, yes, I know you were interested in my story. I should tell you the winner of the evaluation contest now. Is the chief judge back in the room with the results for the international contest?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So I've seen a lot of people, see, that's why it's good to be contest chair. You become popular overnight. A lot of people have been sending me DMs. They've been entering my DM, give us a second place now. Don't give us winner, give us second place. I'm trying to consider your request because, well, it's my show. So Toastmaster Chooks, should I give them the runner-up, or should I just go straight to the champion?
Runner-up, please.
Oh, Toastmaster Chooks, if not for you, I would have gone ahead. But ladies and gentlemen, today, our runner-up, a lady I admire so much, respect. She is none other. Some people have been telling me to save their data. You didn't know you use data for this meeting. Please make some noise for our runner-up today, Toastmaster Otobore Olumoye. Please make some noise. Whoa! Congratulations, Mr. Otobore. You and I go way back. We've shared the stage.
Yay!
And Tall Tales contest many years ago. Congratulations. Please say cheese. Oh yeah, there you go. Please, you guys can take a screenshot. Toastmaster Otobore and second. Oh, I didn't do that for the last speaker. All right, so there you go. We have our winner now. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? The winner of the Area 23 evaluation contest is a lady, obviously. And that lady is, where are our contestants? Please make some noise for our winner so that you would not choke holding your breath. The winner is Toastmaster Ese Okereka. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ese. What's going on, Toastmaster Ese? You came with a crowd. What's going on here? Oh my goodness. Where are you?
Congratulations, TMSA!
The announcement knocked off our network. Where is she? Okay, I've seen you. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Toastmaster Ese. All this kind of Toastmaster Ese. Is it that you are so confident? Look at the way you're just taking it. You're like those people that they will call first prize in school. They just come out, collect it, come out, collect it. Congratulations. And of course, beautiful, beautiful. It's always fantastic to watch these contests. I know because should I blow my own trumpet a little bit? I've been all the way to the district level in this contest, and I know what it takes to be a contestant. It's a lot of work. So well done, and congratulations to Toastmaster Tobere, Toastmaster Ese, Toastmaster Mano, Toastmaster Cindy. You all did phenomenal work. Okay. Chief Judge, are we ready? I've not gotten any message on my phone. Okay, I think I have
sent it to your WhatsApp.
All right. Well, we've taken more time than necessary, and we know that you've forgiven us. At this time, we wouldn't take more time. We'll announce to your hearing the winners of the International Speech Contest. Our second runner-up today. Are you ready? Toastmaster Chooks, where are you? I need to bring you up to the lectern as well so we can share the spotlight. As the chairman that invited all of us to this. We'll be out of your faces in 2 minutes, I promise you. We just had to wait for the judges. It's not my fault, but it's our fault. We work as a team. Okay, but I'm sure it's been worth your while. Second runner-up International Speech Contest. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Toastmaster Godson Dasso.
Okay.
Come on, make some noise, people.
Congratulations.
Whoa,
Congratulations.
Where are you, Toastmaster Godson? Okay. I'm trying to find him. My goodness. Congratulations, Toastmaster Godson. Oh, there you are. Hold on. Let me bring you up. Good. Smile for the camera. I hope someone is taking a screenshot. Yes, congratulations. Let me take a screenshot as well. Oh, it's gone off, but it's fine. All right. Oh yeah, there you are. So let me take a screenshot, probably send this to you. Brilliant. Okay, and our runner-up today. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Gentlemen,
yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
If you're ready now, I mean, if I don't do this today, my cup will not be full and run over. Please put a 5 in the comment section if you are ready for this. I just love to ask for a 5. Come on, how many 5s am I going to get? Oh my goodness. I'm triply excited because you are having fun. 5. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up today for the International Speech Contest is, are you ready? Are you ready? Please make some noise for Toastmaster
Rick Caruso's planned attack.
Joy Ekuchi James. Where is Toastmaster Joy? Oh, wow. Yeah, your top speech title that had me, going for, lessons in speaking whatever language that is, but congratulations. All right, and of course, everyone take a screenshot. Yes, there you go. Aha. Are we ready for the winner? Congratulations, Mr. Joy. Today's up now, so we didn't get to talk to our contestants. Forgive us. Are we ready to hear what the winner is? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Area 23 International Speech Contest winner, Toastmaster. I wish we had not spent a lot of time. I would have heard you guys here a bit, but I can't. Please make some noise for Toastmaster King Ojibwa. Where are you, Toastmaster King? Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You want to dance? No, come on, where's the music? Oh, wow, beautiful. Let me take a screen grab as well before you go. 1 second. Oh, brilliant. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to everyone who has been a part of the show today. You stayed till the end. If I didn't know better, I would have said it was my fine face that kept you, but I know it's not. Well, maybe it is. I couldn't help saying, right? But anyways, it's been a beautiful, beautiful afternoon here in Lagos. Wherever you joined us from, I hope you had a spectacular time with us. I'm going to leave you in the hands of my good friend and host here, who is our area director at Area 23, to give you some warm words to get you on your way until when next we cross paths. You can connect with me everywhere, social media. I'm on most of those things as David Dokun, or I am David Dokun. I'd like to connect with you. It's been a pleasure being the host here this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever time it is. But for now, I'm out of your face. Over to you, Toastmaster Chooks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster David. Absolutely fantastic time we've had here all together today, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. We had a vision. You've literally taken it and made it reality. You made it flesh, and we are grateful. And not just to you, but inclusive everyone who has played a huge role into making this successful today. Our contest chair, obviously, Toastmaster David Dokun, and our lovely, fantastic keynote speakers. My dream about these keynote speeches is that we need to break it up. We need to take it out from this long recording and just leave them as they are and share them as widely as possible, because they were really, really strong words, strong lessons that came through from Toastmaster Folu on Word Up all the way to Toastmaster Nameti, a lasting solution. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, with your skill, with your art. Today, it's been such a pleasure. Our Chief Judge, Toastmaster Tosin Olorunleke, thank you to you and your team of judges who do the selfless work in the shadows. And we can't name them publicly, but we really are grateful. And every role player, our ballot counters, Toastmaster Barida, and Toastmaster Obide, our timers, Toastmasters Francis and Good Luck, all the area executives, our great PQD, super efficient. I don't want to go into the stories on how I know this must have pulled that to the very stretches, to the very boundaries, putting this contest in the context of this area house together today. But it was really fabulously done, and we are utterly grateful. It's been a great event today, but it would have been nothing still if we didn't have you, our dear audience, here today, all over 80 of us who joined in from different parts of the world to grace this occasion, to learn with us, to have fun with us. Thank you so much for finding the time from your lovely Sunday to share this experience, this memory with us. And I do hope that we all have a lovely, great week ahead. If you haven't filled our attendance, please, Toastmaster SA will drop it again in the chat box. Let us know where you joined us from. And if you're a guest today, we will be reaching out. So once you indicate you're a guest on that attendance form, we will reach out to you afterwards with just a little more information and a little more chat, just to get to know ourselves a little better and see where we take this newfound relationship to from here. That said, it's been fantastic. All our era executives, once again, I thank you. Toastmasters, Tosan, Ufoma, SA, Emmanuel, all of us, Sunday Ututu, thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend, everyone, and we will all connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, my pleasure.
Toastmaster,